What is going on, guys? Rob back again today, and today we're going to be talking about WrestleMania Night 2. And we have a lot to get through, particularly in one of these matches, which I'm excited to talk about, but we're going to save that for right now, and we're just going to go ahead and hop right into the main card. I did not take a look at the pre-show, unfortunately. I know it was Liv Morgan versus Natalya. Not something that really piqued my interest. Not anything I heard really coming out of it. Unlike the Cesaro and Drew Gulak match with the no-handed airplane spin, which was very impressive, I still find. And yeah, let's just go ahead and hop right into it. The first match opening was Rhea Ripley, my girl, versus Charlotte. And now with this match, I did enjoy the story that they did. I enjoyed the story going into it. I just wasn't a big fan of the finish, and with newer news coming to light, if anyone's heard, we'll talk about in a minute. But let's get into the match first. With this, a lot of working the leg from Charlotte in this. I know in the first couple minutes, Rhea hit a riptide on her, and but she didn't get the win. Obviously, it was just one of those quick things of like, hey, better watch your ass, or else I'm gonna catch you. That's how easy I can catch you. That's what she was proving. That's what Ripley was proving right then and there. But with the rest of this match, it was just a lot of Charlotte working over that leg. Like, a lot of that stuff looked hard to watch, guys. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever been chop blocked before, like in a match or anything, or just by friends. You're not even really in a match, just by friends or anything. That shit sucks. Like, especially if there's enough force behind it, that shit sucks. And I think there was a few times where she did catch her, in the catch her like legitimately in the leg, and her leg just gave out. But yeah, and then went for the figure eight a couple of times. I believe at one point she had her legs wrapped around the pole like she has before. But Ripley kept fighting back, man. She kept doing what she could. She kept hitting her leg, trying to get some blood flowing through it, just so she could put on some offense. Because Ripley, she's a big powerhouse for her style. And granted, Charlotte, she's a pretty tall, pretty stacked female. So, it took a lot of force from her. And she eventually did lock in her standing cloverleaf, which she doesn't bust out too much, but when she does, it's always pretty impressive. And I think her leg gave out or something, or Charlotte, she must have rolled through. But eventually, her leg, Ripley's injured leg, it just caught up to her, and Charlotte got her into the figure eight, and unfortunately Rhea had to tap out, and Charlotte won the NXT Women's Championship, unfortunately. Yes, I'm very disappointed here, because I'm very disappointed in this result. I was very pissed off about this result because Charlotte does not need the title. NXT does not need Charlotte, in my opinion. But if anyone's heard the news that came out, is that supposedly Rhea, being from Australia, she is here on a work visa. Supposedly her visa expired, and with the pandemic going on, she's going to be going back to Australia for at least 2 weeks. And then after that, she has to figure out her work visa shit. And with the pandemic going on, who knows how long that shit will take. I've personally been involved with somebody from Australia, and from how long they told me how long they told me the process is of getting that type of shit done in just a normal, with everything being normal and going day to day, not with the type of pandemic we're dealing with now. Who knows when the next time we're going to be able to see Rhea is, unfortunately. And maybe she can do something with the NXT UK for a minute, but I don't know what type of passes or anything like that you need to go from Australia to the UK. Unfortunately, I'm not knowledge into that type of stuff, you know. But yeah, with that, unfortunately, Rhea's not the champion no more. I really hope that's the main reason. But we'll see in the future on how long it takes Rhea to come back. Maybe someone new will take the belt off Charlotte that needs it. But yeah. Anyway, disappointing stuff. But it's all good though. The rest of the show was pretty good. So let's go ahead and get to it. The next match was Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. Another one of those matches that was kind of just thrown together, but it was not that bad. I enjoyed it pretty well. Just a pretty standard match. You know, Lashley with the powerhouse thing. Obviously, Aleister Black with his good striking game. I believe there was a spot where Aleister missed his moonsault and then eventually did hit it later in the match. Some of the more memorable parts of it, unfortunately. And then I believe Bobby went for the Dominator. I think he was going for. And Lana told him not to do it for some reason. I guess she likes the spear better or something like that. I don't understand that really. I mean, I know they're probably going to start breaking the two up because, let's be honest, that hasn't really gone anywhere. But very strange reasoning for the cracks to start. You know, Lana likes another finisher better. I mean, she's not the one in the match, so why the fuck would she have any type of insight of how he finishes it? But anyway, that doesn't matter. Pretty sweet spot. Lashley goes in for the spear, runs towards him, and boom, black mass. And Aleister picks up the victory. So, you know, hopefully this leads to good things for Aleister. You know, what belts on it? Oh yeah, the United States with Andrade. I mean, tell me you would love to see Aleister Black versus Andrade for that United States title by even SummerSlam. I would say, you know, let Aleister be in like the Money in the Bank or something. If they do that show, I really hope they do. You know, I want to see as much wrestling as we can right now without it affecting anybody in a negative way. But yeah, I mean, give it a couple months, build Aleister up a little bit. You know, since they really didn't do nothing with him for a whole year until the Buddy Murphy feud, and even after that, they didn't do much with him. Buddy lost a feud, and he was in more main event shit than Aleister ever was. So, yeah, I'd build Aleister up. You know, keep giving him these, you know, semi-high-profile wins against people. You know, throw him in something with Seth until SummerSlam or something. I don't know. You know, give him something because he's too high profile of a guy, too big of a talent to kind of go to the wayside like that and just get thrown into some filler match that they did just to fill time because they had nobody else. So, you know, I don't know. Do something with them is all I'm saying mainly. But and now we're going to get up to probably the best story going into Mania and then coming out. Otis versus Dolph Ziggler. Now, again, if you've watched my predictions, you'll know that I am a big man, and I was very hyped to see what they would do with this match, and I was not disappointed. Match was standard stuff, you know, pretty good stuff. Otis got in a lot of offense on Dolph, and there was one super kick at the beginning though that was flush, and I mean it made my teeth hurt just from seeing it. But Otis got in some offense again, and then next thing you know he starts humping the air and stuff, which needs a crowd in my opinion. I do agree with some people that I've heard say it doesn't really work without a crowd, but Otis get in there chucking and jiving, or however you say. Then he's going for the caterpillar. Sonny gets up on the apron and distracts the ref, distracts him, and the next thing you know, he gets kicked in the dick by Dolph from behind. And then after that, I believe is when Mandy Rose's music hits, and she runs down. Sonya Deville's kind of shocked, because I guess earlier in the night they were doing a part where Sonya and Dolph, they were talking about how they couldn't get a hold of her and how they're doing the best for her, which was complete bullshit, stupid heel stuff. And then she beats the shit out of Sonya Deville and throws her in the ring to distract everybody. And then gets in the ring. Dolph's like, "What are you doing? Why are you out here? What the hell's your problem?" And then she low blows Dolph, and Dolph falls over. And then Otis gets back up, hits the caterpillar for the win. And then after that, Mandy Rose jumps in the ring and jumps into Otis's arms, and with the biggest moment of the entire weekend, Otis gets the kiss from the girl. The big guy gets the girl in the end, which is the best story to come out of this, honestly. You guys have no idea how happy it made me to see this. I was at my friend's house just chanting "kiss, kiss, kiss" like I was watching some freaking soap opera or something. Like you guys have no idea how ecstatic I was just to see this match for this specific moment. And I was so happy they did it. I was so happy they weren't mean-spirited about it. And it just, as a big person growing up, it just makes me happy to see that the big man got the girl that everyone says doesn't belong with him, that she's too good for. It's just, you guys have, if any big people are watching this, you won't completely understand, I would assume. So yeah, definitely one of the biggest highlights for me of the entire weekend. Can't wait to see where this goes. But let's get into the next one with a match that has a pretty good ending, but at the same time has a pretty sad one to begin also. It's going to be Edge versus Randy Orton in the last man standing match. Now with this one, I was very excited for this match. I was very happy to see Edge back in his first single match. But my initial thoughts on it, if you've seen the match and you might know what I'm talking about, that with a lot of this, it was just a lot of, it looked like prepping for a big spot that just didn't happen. A lot of this match, you kind of could get the gist of what they were doing, but you kept expecting something big to happen that really didn't. And I guess the best way is just to kind of get into it, just to see how you guys feel after hearing about it. So Edge makes his entrance, comes out, looking awesome, by the way. Then Randy Orton's music hits, goes by for a few seconds, not showing up. Then you can kind of guess what's going to happen. RKO out of nowhere. And then they show a replay, and it shows Randy was dressed as a cameraman, and he came out and did an RKO out of nowhere. And then with that, the match started, and then starts counting, and then Edge gets back up, and then I believe there's another RKO, and then he gets out, luckily falls to his feet after rolling out of the ring, and then they start going to the back, and like I said, guys, they just start brawling. Not a whole lot to it. If you guys have ever played the video games where you can go do the backstage brawl and you kind of just keep punching and kicking and throwing each other, that's essentially what most of a good 85% of this match was. But not to drag along with it, essentially some of the bright spots from my memory were, there was a spot where they were in the gym. Then in the gym there was a part where Randy looked like he was trying to hang Edge by weight equipment. Little bad taste, but I hope they didn't know what they were doing when they talked about doing that spot. But But after that, Edge mounts a little bit of a comeback. He does a drop kick, I believe, by a chin up bar, and Randy kind of goes flying a little bit. And then after that, a few seconds later, Edge puts Randy into like a computer chair, and then he gets on the chin bar again, and he kind of throws himself off of it he swings himself off, and pretty much goes balls first onto Randy, and it looks like it would hurt for both of them because I think Edge hit his balls pretty hard on that spot, and Randy looked like it hurt falling out of that, getting hit and falling out of that chair like he did. But after that, they kind of kept hitting and punching each other. Let's see here. Yeah, then eventually they go to like a storage area. I believe there was a spot where Randy got put onto a table, and then Edge jumped off with an elbow drop. There was another spot where they're in an office, and there was a big long table, like an office conference table, and Randy was laid out on that. There was like little cage fencing above it, so Edge climbed up there, did a pretty inventive elbow drop from that. Let's see. And then I guess they go to the parking lot where there's a truck right up next to like a big production semi or something like that. And Randy Orton, he eventually puts Edge up on top of the roof, so then he's standing on the bed with like a little covering over it, and he does the hanging DDT onto the bed of the truck, the cover. So that was pretty inventive. Buddy who loves trucks and stuff, he was pissed because he said that shit's expensive to replace. It was pretty funny. And then eventually they make their way on top of the semi, and then there's a few punching back and forth there. Eventually, Randy Orton, he tries to go for the punt onto Edge on top of the semi, but Edge reverses it into a spear on the semi, and then I believe he's waiting for the count, and then Randy gets back up, and Edge goes for another spear, but it gets turned into an RKO. And then after that, Randy grabs chairs, and then he tries to go for a concerto, but then he turns around because he's kind of doing like the whole mind thing where he's trying to, he's listening to his thoughts type of thing, because he doesn't really want to do it, but he wants to. And then he turns around, and then Edge puts him into the sleeper hold, and then eventually Randy passes out, and then he lays Randy down onto the chairs, head first in the concerto position. And then the ref's counting, and essentially Edge could win the match right there because Randy's knocked out. He's out cold from falling asleep. And Edge tells the ref, he's like, stop effing counting. They bleeped it though. And then Edge grabs the chair, and after some talking to himself, like he legitimately doesn't want to do this because he saw Randy as a friend, but he can't. He's got to give him one back. He can't not. In his mind, he can't not do this. So then he finally hits Randy with concerto. Randy sells it pretty well. And then Edge, he kind of breaks down. Looks like he's about to start crying. He's not happy with what he did. He didn't return to the ring to do that in his mind, but he had to do what he had to do. After everything Randy put him through since returning, he had to do what he had to do. But yeah, with this match, guys, I gotta say, for how excited I was, I think I hyped myself up too much for it. I think I was just expecting too much. I guess I'm not really sure, what could have been different, but I just kind of feel like there was too much slog. It was just too much of this back and forth punching and kicking. You know, like I've seen last man standing matches, or you know, other matches that you can win outside of the ring like this, where they do a whole lot. You know, they do, you know, more than what they did in this match in less time. Like one of those matches, probably one of my favorite matches like this, but it was an ambulance match, was the Shane McMahon versus Kane one back in 2003. Now if you watch that match is probably like 15 minutes long, I want to say, whereas this match was like 25 or more. They do a whole lot in that short amount of time with that ambulance match. And you know, I know with the empty arena, they were like, oh, we can go anywhere and do anything. Like, I was excited about that, but I just figured they would have took better advantage of it than what they did. Instead of just meandering around the entire, you know, performance center. Like, I don't know, it went too long. I feel like they personally just didn't do enough. Like, it was just a lot of the same things over and over again. You know, there's probably chunks of this match I didn't even mention because I don't remember. You know, it just wasn't that memorable of stuff, unfortunately. You know, like, but it's very easy to give it a pass because of the circumstances. And if the crowd was there, crowd would have made this match 10 times better. You know, and with the crowd there, they would have had to do stuff around the ring more, which I feel like would have made it better. You know, I just feel like it was a wasted opportunity with what they were given, in my opinion. You know, but like I said, I'm going to give any match that seems like it could have been better, I'm going to give a pass, just because who knows if they could have done the same exact match with the crowd, it could have been 10 times better. But who knows, honestly. You can never really tell, you know. So, yeah, like I said, not a horrible match. Just A, went too long, B, didn't have enough stuff in it for what they could have done. Like, yeah, there was some cool spots and some cool things like that, but for what they could have done with it, it was just kind of like, oh, that's how you're gonna do it. Alright, I guess. You know, like, not personally what I thought was gonna happen, but fine enough nonetheless. So, and then after this match, we did have another 24/7 Gronkowski part, where Mojo was running around from backstage, and then there was a whole bunch of like these guys weren't even NXT. These guys were like Performance Center wrestlers, where they're not even good enough to be on NXT yet. And they were all brawling, and then Rob Gronkowski jumped off of the scaffold that he was standing on since the show began, and then he pinned Mojo Rawley for the 24/7 title, and that was it. And then we would later find out that Titus O'Neil was going to replace Gronk as the host, which is fine. Rob didn't really do much anyway. Alright, so with this next match we're going to talk about, and probably, I'm pretty sure, one of the last thrown together matches that we're going to really talk about. Street Profits versus Angel Garza and Austin Theory. Pretty short match. But then again, though, you know, yeah, that's fine after how long Orton versus Edge was. But I did like what I saw from Austin Theory. The dude's very athletic. I'm pretty disappointed I haven't seen any of his stuff since he's been on WWE, but it's just I haven't been watching all of the weekly shows or anything, so I haven't caught a lot from him. But I was pretty happy with what I saw from him, you know, especially him being in the ring with guys like the Street Profits and Angel Garza, who, you know, I've seen do a bunch of matches, and I've always been impressed by him. But yeah, it was just a simple heel face match. pretty sure the heels, they were beating down on them and stuff, and then next thing you know, get tag into Montez. A couple of stuff happens there. Eventually, Montez does a dive over the ropes onto Austin Theory and Angelo Dawkins, I believe. And then after that, I know, I believe the finish happened where, let's see, yeah, Dawkins hit TKO on Theory. Oh no, Theory hit a TKO on Angelo Dawkins. Oh, and he was going for the pin. That's what it was. And then Montez Ford does a frog splash off the top rope, and Austin Theory rolls over in pain. Angelo pins him for the win. And then, like I said, nothing too impressive, but it was expected from this match, you know. And then after that, Austin Theory and Angel Garza started attacking, beating down the Street Profits and such. And then Zelina Vega actually gets in, and she starts putting in some shots too. And then we realize why. Bianca Belair, she does a run in and helps out Street Profits. And for anybody that doesn't know, her and Montez Ford are a married couple, so it looks like Belair is now with the Street Profits and is going to start doing a program with Zelina Vega. And from what I heard from Raw last night, a couple days ago, that's exactly what they're doing now. So pretty exciting stuff. Glad to see Bianca is finally up doing stuff with main roster. You know, after how many times she's fought for that title on NXT, the NXT Women's title, you know, she deserves to be put onto the main roster, I guess. You know, again, I'm not the hugest fan of her, but I mean, I don't really want to see her keep fighting for that title if they don't plan on just putting it on her. They should have put on her against Shayna, in my opinion, if they were going to. I'm glad they didn't, because Rhea got taken off her, but you know, I wasn't a fan of her taking off Rhea, and I don't think she needs to be the one to take off Charlotte. So putting her on main roster, if that's the best they can really do, then fine by me. You know, as long as they're having her do something, maybe I'll become bigger of a fan of her in the near future with her stuff with the Street Profits. Alright, and then now to the last women's match of the WrestleMania card. Oh, not the women's tag team. We have, where is it? There we go. SmackDown Women's Title 5-Way. Yes, Dana Brooke is not in that match. I know this. We had a 5-way women's elimination match with Naomi, Tamina, Lacey Evans, Sasha Banks, and the champion Bayley. This actually was a pretty entertaining match. They did a lot of good stuff with Tamina. Not a whole lot, but you know, I believe this is their first match back in a long ass time, unless she has some tag matches on SmackDown or any other matches that would build up to this. It's like the first thing they've really done with her since she came back. And they did the whole powerhouse spot where everyone tried taking her out, but she started demolishing everybody. And then eventually they all did team up on her, got her down. Everyone hit a move from the top rope onto her. Some of them were finishers. And eventually everyone dogpiled onto Tamina, and she got eliminated. And then after that, they kind of did a 2-on-2 thing where Sasha and Bayley were fighting up against Lacey and Naomi, which was to be expected with the Bayley and Sasha relationship. And I guess Lacey and Naomi, as of late, they've had a good friendship, supposedly. I do remember Lacey getting taken out, though, after a minute, and then Naomi kind of just got beaten up, taken out by Bayley and Sasha. And then we got down to the final three. And then after some double team stuff, eventually Sasha and Bayley were kind of starting to jabbermouth each other and stuff, and they were teasing stuff breaking down between them, which everybody's excited for. I'm super hopeful that by SummerSlam or Mania next year, these two will be fighting for that women's title. Hopefully. But with that, Lacey comes out of nowhere. Bayley actually looks like sacrifices herself for Sasha, but in the wrong way, where she shoves Sasha out of the way, and Lacey pushes down Bayley and then fucking decks the shit out of Sasha with the woman's right, pins her, and Bayley looks like she doesn't want to get up, but at the same time she looks stunned. So take with that what you will. And yeah, Lacey's looking dead at her, like pinning Sasha, which is insane, which is pretty crazy. And then there was a bit back and forth. Lacey was mainly taking it to Bayley, pretty much showing that she could beat Bayley on her own if she wanted to, or if she had the opportunity to, which she did, but she lost by like squeaky bullshit wins and stuff. But yeah, Lacey was setting up for the win, and then Sasha comes out of nowhere with a backstabber, and then Bayley hit her finisher, and Bayley wins, retains the title just like I figured she would. You know, not on her own, but with help, or sneaky victory. I was right. But with that, after that, Sasha came in and they kind of talked back and forth a little bit, and Sasha was like, well, you won, so go ahead and have your victory. And so she did, and Bayley was saying how like she was unstoppable, how no one could beat her, and all this other stuff, and I'm just waiting for the time when that happens, and she's just talking all this shit, and Sasha, is sick of it, and she's just like, no. I'm gonna be the one to fucking take this shit off you. So I'm just waiting for it, man. It's gonna be some good stuff. Alrighty then. And then next up, probably my favorite thing of the entire show across both nights, John Cena versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, in a Firefly Funhouse match. Now, again, like the Boneyard match, if you have not seen this, don't even bother listening to this yet. Go and watch this quote-unquote match. It's not really a wrestling match. Don't be too confused by me saying that. Just go watch it. Do yourself a favor again and watch that, because oh boy, this was a look into the psyche of the John Cena character as a whole. Not even the man. I guess a little bit of the man too, but more or less the character. And my God, is it intense. Start off with this. John Cena comes out. He does his entrance. He starts saying how, like, welcome to WrestleMania, and then next thing you know, you're in the Firefly Funhouse with Bray Wyatt. He starts saying a bunch of stuff, and then saying how, like, you're going to be going against your greatest enemy, which is pretty much you, and all that stuff. And then next thing you know, John Cena's teleported to the Firefly Funhouse, and then after that, Ramblin' Rabbit shows up and says, oh, if you're looking for the Fiend or you're looking for Bray, he's through that door. And he goes in, he follows him. As soon as he goes in, he sees the Devil McMahon, Devil Vince McMahon, essentially. And after that, man, it just gets bonkers. I think it starts with Bray Wyatt in the ring, and he's reenacting Kurt Angle's promo from John Cena's debut, and after that, John Cena comes out as the prototype John Cena from 2002 with the two-tone shorts and everything like that. So yeah, it was crazy to see. Like, I was laughing at first because I didn't understand what we were looking at. You know, I didn't understand what was really going on. But after that, after a while, I got the gist of it. And then, yeah, John Cena gets in the ring, and you know why he pretty much says word for word what Kurt Angle does, and John Cena does the line of ruthless aggression, and he goes for the punch, but Bray ducks, and you know John keeps saying it a couple more times, and Bray keeps ducking. Bray's like talking shit, and I believe at one point Bray even looks at him and says, "You look, but you can't touch," or "You can look, but you can't touch," which is a callback to when John Cena was dating Nikki Bella a couple years ago, and they had their, you know, real life breakup supposedly and stuff. So kind of mocking him about that, which was, you know, that kind of showed right there how much John Cena was invested into this going the way it is. And then after that, they do a mocking of Saturday Night Main Event where they do like the whole intro and everything, and Bray Wyatt comes out as his workout character of Bray Wyatt. And my God, I gotta say, if no one said anything yet, but Bray Wyatt is jacked when he wants to be, man. Like, that dude, he is freaking, like, he used to be a large man, but my God, that dude, he's done his work and spent his time in the gym, I tell you that. Like, when he was flexing up and everything, holy shit. Like, I wish he would do that more. Like, just to show how he's not like the thicker guy he was, you know, like 6 years ago. But yeah, anyway, he brings out John Cena, and I guess his name is Johnny Large Meat, and he's just, you know, he's lifting. He overdoes the weights, and he starts to realize he's facing Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt's right there, and he tries to swing at him, but he can't because his arms are overdone from, you know, being all jacked and lifting all the weights and stuff. And then after that, they go to, I believe, the Wyatt bunker, and yeah, and then he goes and he's back into the rocking chair from when he first debuted, and he's wearing the I think Hawaiian shirt and the little hat and everything. He's just like doing promo style like he did back when he was, you know, his original version of Bray Wyatt character. And then after doing that type of promo, and then next thing you know, John Cena and Bray, they're both back in the ring again, and next thing you know, they kind of reenact the finishing of their original match back at WrestleMania 30. And then John Cena reversed out of Sister Abigail, and then, you know, Bray gave him the chair and was like, "Hit me, do it, you know, do it, don't change history," essentially. And then he swings the chair at Bray Wyatt instead of putting it down and going for a AA and whatnot. So yeah, he gives into his anger, like he should have at WrestleMania if he was gonna win that match. He gives into it, and then next thing you know, probably one of the more clear highlights of this entire thing is Bray Wyatt reenacting as Eric Bischoff, bringing out Hollywood Hulk Hogan, but instead it's John Cena, and he does do the entire Hulk Hogan entrance, music and all, with the NWO World Heavyweight Championship from WCW, and it was hilarious to see. But after a while, he kind of realized what they were doing with, with everyone always wants Cena to be heel, and he never changed his character. But now he's, reenacting a person who no one ever thought would turn heel, but he did, to revive his career. And that's one of the bigger things about John Cena, where I don't think he ever thought he could pull off being a heel, or he did want to, but he was never allowed to and whatnot. But still, it was a great part in this entire match altogether. And I call it a match as if it was a wrestling match. There was no wrestling in this until the end, but it's a psychological match. And if you're big into like how psychology is and everything else like that, and just mind-bending stuff that makes you think a lot and whatnot, like, this is the perfect type of thing for you. And then after a minute of John Cena being Hulk Hogan, essentially, he breaks out of it and he attacks. Wait, am I missing a part here? Let me see. Yeah, I am missing a part. So anyway, he goes back to, I think it's after this Hollywood Hulk Hogan part. He becomes the Doctor of Thugonomics John Cena. Wears the same outfit he did last year. And then he starts like rapping at Bray Wyatt and stuff, and a lot of them are pretty lame and don't get over very well. And then Bray does point out a bigger flaw in the Doctor of Thugonomics character that John Cena had, which is, I think, a big reason why John Cena wanted to stop doing it, was he was being the babyface character. He was the good guy, but he was mocking anybody and everybody for just to do it, Like, Bray tells him, he takes someone's flaws and you turn them into a joke. Pretty much calls him he's like, you're nothing but a big bully, and that's how a lot of people saw that character and see John Cena, to this day, is like a big bully, where he always gets how he wants it and he doesn't care what anybody else's thought of him, or anyone else thought in that situation. I mean, go back to how the Nexus, they got booked in one of their matches because of John Cena. The whole Nexus got, pretty much destroyed. So, just a lot of different things said about Cena, and a lot of probably his own insecurities of his own character and whatnot. Like I said, guys, I don't do it any justice talking about it. You need to go back and watch it, and watch one of these other videos of people talking about it. A lot of people can do a lot better job talking about it than I can. It's just a lot of stuff in this, I think, 15 minutes that how long this is or so. But anyway, John Cena is the rapping as the Thugonomics character. Eventually he tackles Bray Wyatt, I believe, and then we go to the final part where he's doing a ground and pound on him, and then you realize he wasn't punching Bray, he was punching the Huskus, the pig puppet. And next thing you know, he looks up and the Fiend finally shows up, and he gets him. He puts him in a Sister Abigail, and in a very telling moment of what this entire thing is doing was back they did audio recording of a John Cena promo from Friday where he said he's going to fix the mistake that happened 6 years ago, where he's going to get rid of the overhyped, I think it said like over-experienced or something like that, Golden Boy, stuff. Like, he just pretty much said a lot of stuff where he's in the time meeting Bray Wyatt, but in this instance he says it and it's directed towards him, and it makes a lot more sense to be directed towards him than it ever does being towards Bray Wyatt. So he hits him with a Sister Abigail, and then he puts him on a mandible claw, and then the regular Bray Wyatt, he's doing the counting as the ref, and some pretty good editing. And then, yeah, 1, 2, 3. And The Fiend beat John Cena, and he stands up and essentially says, "Let me in." And John Cena just disappears. And don't know what happened to him. And like I said, guys, I do this no justice in talking about it. I've only watched it just the once so far. I need to go back and watch it again. But do yourself a service and at least watch it once, at least. And then after that, if you're interested, go watch some of the other people's videos on it. It's a lot of interesting stuff. I'm probably going to be doing that myself just to see anything I missed. But yeah, it's just a very, very good psychological battle. Not even a wrestling match, just psychologically, a very good, matchup. Very good look into, the psyche of the John Cena character, which is pretty insane to think about that WWE would do something like this. But Bray Wyatt, man, he's a very creative guy, so big props to him if a lot of this was his main idea. Guy's creative, dude. I'm excited to see what he does next. Alright, and then finally, the main event of WrestleMania 36 we're going to talk about. I mean, not much to talk about. And with this, it's essentially no difference really to the Goldberg and Strowman match. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. Yeah, not a lot of difference. Go into it. Few punches, kicks, stuff like that. Knees, I believe, from Brock to Drew. Believe he hits an F5, and then Drew kicks out at 1, which was pretty insane to see. And then a few German suplexes, and then I believe Lesnar hit 2 more F5s, and then those were all 2 counts. And then Brock got him back up, and Paul was saying, "Oh, hit him, keep doing it, keep hitting him with it. He's not gonna kick out. We got all night to do this." And then he goes up for a 4th one. Drew counters it, and then he hits him with a Claymore. Hits him with 2 more Claymores. And then yeah. After that, yeah, Drew got the pin for a 1, 2, 3. And then supposedly after that, it showed on Raw though. I see here it was Big Show came out and asked for a match against Drew. Not really for the title, but just a match, I guess. I mean, it says here for the title, but I think it wasn't for the title. But yeah, so that Big Show match, that wasn't on the main Mania. It was only on the Raw. But still, I guess I talk about it while it's showing up right here. But yeah, guys, that match, I mean, I'm happy Drew's got the title. I'm happy Drew and Braun both got the titles. I'm pretty satisfied with every champion besides obviously NXT Women's Champion, but can't do nothing about that. So, but yeah, very, very entertaining and weird show. I'm happy with that, with what they did, with what they had. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. I know not everybody is going to be giving it high of a praise as I am and some other people are. But I guess that's your own opinion. But yeah, hopefully the next pay-per-view I talk to you guys about is going to be like a normal crowded show. But I highly doubt it. I mean, not a whole lot's going to be going back to normal in the next month. So I don't know, but I'll be back with that one as well. If we're having Money in the Bank at May 10th, I will be back with that one, and I hope you guys are enjoying these. Anyone that's watching, thank you very much. Again, as always, hit the like and subscribe button. Definitely help me out a lot. Just prove to me that you guys are enjoying these. But yeah, I hope you guys have a fantastic day and an even better night, and stay safe out there. Wash your hands, do whatever you gotta do, and you guys have a great one. See ya.